what if I love my dog? Is that the same thing? Is the love of my dog or the love of this person or that? And then we said, no, no, no. That's beautiful, but don't. In other words, if someone has a leaf and they're pouring water, is it bad that I'm pouring water on the leaf? Your intention here is great, right? That you want to help this leaf is a really good thing.
Hmm.
But try to understand, this isn't a sectarian idea, but try to understand that that leaf and every other leaf is growing through the nourishment of one common root.
It's
Get
so
to
hard
that
to
root.
see, isn't it? It's so hard to see
Yeah.
because we're embroiled in this thing. Like, this is my family. This is my home. This is
Yeah.
my society. This is my culture. And the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam are saying, yes, but no. Yes, but no, there's something much bigger. And it's when we take shelter of that bigger, we actually find the high heat of anxiety diminish.
Yeah. And then you'll become just as concerned for every leaf, every single leaf, not just the one leaf. And you know, as you said, it's hard to see because what? The roots are underground.
Yeah.
Right? You don't see the root. Well, why should I pour water in the ground?
Yeah, it
How's
doesn't
that
seem
going to
like
help
it's
the
going to
leaf?
do any good.
Yeah. But
It's
there's a
gonna do all
root
the
under
good.
there. Yeah.
There's a root under there. Silly.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily spiritual podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastubha Das. Welcome to the show. This is episode 1446, believe it or not. Sitting here live with a whole crew, including the whole family from Lebanon is here. Tulsi, Premadonna, Lida Karuna, who lit up the night with her kirtan, and little Madhurya, as well as Ari. We got a whole crew. Chandra Bugga's here. We're living a ashram life here, Kastubha.
That's
and you
the
know,
way
you,
it should be up there. It's
you
super
left
simple.
yesterday. You didn't even say goodbye to me. I was a little hurt. I
I had to run out. I had to run out the door fast all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's okay.
Sorry
Sometimes
about
they're
that.
better.
Sorry about that.
Sometimes they're better. I feel
You know, I
and me
think
are always connected.
always. I think we need to apologize to people that showed up yesterday morning. Then the show didn't quite happen.
Yeah, we have an apology. A lot of people showed up and there was no show. It's so weird. You think like in 2024
that the rain wouldn't affect our
the
internet.
rain
It
affects
wasn't even
the
like a
internet.
storm or anything. It was just like
No, it's just raining.
This is how we live. It's like right up there with dial-up. One day we're going to look back. Remember when we couldn't get an internet connection?
I know. I'm ready to go back to dial-up. I feel like
Yeah,
slow, but reliable.
You get that wonderful sound.
But we did the Q&A anyway, and we recorded it. So we're going to try to put that recording up on the Sage Community platform.
It was a good Q&A, actually. We did a Q&A live with all the students, and we had a really fun weekend, and the weather held out until everybody left, until the Seva part started. And yeah, it was actually a little. I had a really weird health weekend, just because I think it's just like exhaustion.
I think it's exhaustion.
I think it's exhaustion, and I promised, like, okay, it's just save a day today. I'm not going to do anything. Couldn't do it, man.
You can't do that.
I was digging holes with the crew.
Yesterday you were?
Charles Wilson. Oh yeah,
He was on his
I got the
tractor.
backhoe out. I was on the tractor.
Chainsaw. He was in his element.
Totally in my element.
You had your rain jacket on.
I had my rain jacket on, my rain pants.
He would have had his rain boots, but I think one of the kids stole them.
Yeah, Karuna stole them. Karuna stole my rain boots. Anyway, it's good to be back. Let's dive into what we usually do here, because we're going to India tomorrow.
Tomorrow, man. Whoa.
I know.
How's your health, Kastubha? You sound
I feel fine. It's only I actually felt like my health was a little bit like worse when I was going up. I feel great now. It's just my throat doesn't even hurt. It just sounds hoarse. I don't know why.
Did Raghunath heal you here?
Raghunath heal me? Is he a healer?
Somewhat
part-time.
Okay.
I'm a wood guy, a
he was
stone
off duty.
guy, and a part-time healer. Wait a second. Before announcements, Karuna, come here. Get over here right now. Quick. We got to bring Karuna on. I just want to hear, like,
A little Karuna.
little Karuna's here.
Look at her at Super Soul. It's surreal.
It's surreal. Now you got to talk right into the mic. How was your weekend, and what did you like doing?
It was really, yeah. It was really nice. My favorite part was playing with Sachi.
The
Oh, my
peacocks.
daughter
Take care of the
Sachi. They
peacocks.
became good friends. Yeah. What did you do? What did you do with Sachi?
We were building a shed for the peacocks.
Building a shed for the peacocks. And last night we had a little Krishna Lila reading, and the peacocks came in.
Oh yeah.
That's nice.
All right.
Are you
Thanks.
going to
Yeah,
allow the peacocks in the house? Is that like part of the deal?
well, I don't know. I think it's we have a house chicken.
I think Krishna would like them.
Well, the little one comes in, but
Okay.
the thing about the little one,
House chicken.
she's gonna get big. But I got a feeling Sachi will bring those in too,
Which ones?
and the peacocks.
Oh yeah.
Even when they got
When
the
you
big long tail.
when you raise like the animals from like real babyhood,
Yeah,
they
they're
just
part of the
become very
family.
affectionate, and yeah, I
All
don't
right.
know.
We'll see.
Anyway, we're happy you're here.
Thank
Anything
you.
else you want to share about the weekend?
No.
Okay.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah. Well, she did a kirtan the other day. Okay, we're gonna switch you out for your mom. Come here, Madura. Tulsi. Okay. Yeah, she led a kirtan that tore the house down. And people were talking about it. My son Rocco called me up. He was like, "Oh my God, that kid." Hey, Tulsi, how are you?
I am so grateful, so filled,
Oh.
and just amazed at the things Krishna arranges. It's beyond my understanding.
And for
Yeah.
those that are unaware, the family was in Beirut and they slipped out. And
Slipped
came
out of
on
Beirut
over.
just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Krishna just arranges everything. You just have to, sometimes he puts you in these situations where you have to say like, "Okay, what can I do?" And then he does it for you.
Yeah.
It's almost magical.
And I tell you, for myself, and I'm sure a lot of us in our community who know your family, we were on the edge of your seat, the edge of our seat when you guys were going to the airport. Everybody, so many prayers going out.
I think that's how we made it.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
Well, good. Did you have a good weekend? Just meeting all these people from Zoom that you've known from Lebanon that you guys see every day.
Yes, they're 3D.
They're three-dimensional beings.
All right.
Lori and the Chief, they're three-dimensional. They're not just a little postage stamp on Zoom.
Yeah, we get to meet each other much more often. Although you did come to Mayapur, which was great, and Karuna and Premadonna came to Italy with us. But it's great that Tulsi gets to come and meet everybody. Oh, Raghunath's frozen. Okay. Well, maybe I can, since until Raghunath comes back, maybe I could try to give what announcements I think Mary's going to give. I think the most important announcement is that there's no show tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, because of travel. There's no way we can do it. Oh, here, you're back. You're back. I started giving the announcements about no show the next 2 days, but okay.
All right. Anyway, thank you, Tulsi.
Thank you.
We're happy you're here. You're taking
Wonderful
out back-
family.
Yeah, great family. Super fun family.
Thank you. Great community. Great community.
Yeah, it just popped up. We weren't expecting to build a community. We were just expecting to read the Bhagavatam, but it really has developed into
The
something.
community
wonderful.
developed around it.
Yeah, then the whole Philly team showed up. Whoo, what a force. Philadelphia. All these people
Philly,
from Massachusetts
Vermont.
showed up. Vermont showed up in the house. Incredible. And we had people fly in from Sacramento, young Tommy Fawcett and his dad, Texas, Chicago. It was really quite wonderful.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks, Tulsi.
Thank you.
Very well. Ah,
Okay.
You might have noticed today's Wear Your Merch Monday.
Oh, I forgot.
Tulsi
Because
was
of it.
rocking the Wisdom of the Sages t-shirt too.
Yeah.
I'm double merch. with that
Double
one.
merch.
Mara's double
it.
merched.
Double.
Mara's got a
Ragu told me to double it. Help us promote the show by wearing your Wisdom of the Sages merch. Take a picture and then share it on social media. Tag us on Facebook and Instagram, and we'll share the post too.
Yeah,
double
Mara's got-
it.
Mara's got the brown shirt. It's growing on me, Mara.
The
It's
brown
growing.
shirt's cool. It's sort of
I
like
like the brown one.
it's sort of like
Yeah.
autumn. Autumn's good. Kartik.
Yeah, it's a good shirt
The
for autumn.
Kartik shirt.
It's very earthy. It's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it, Raghunath. We got a nugget.
Got a nugget. Here's a nugget. It's from J.R.R. Tolkien. Is it
It's two Rs.
J.R.R.? I thought it was one R.
No, it's two
J.R.
R's.
Tolkien.
J double R Tolkien.
J.R. Tolkien's a lady.
No.
No?
No, you're getting that mixed up with J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah. Who's J.R. Tolkien?
And also J.R. He got shot, right? No, that
Who
was
shot J.R.?
that was a different
Oh,
thing.
Krishna, no one even knows what we're talking about, but that was a T-shirt at one time. Okay, here's what J.R.R. Tolkien. Who is it? What
The
did-
one who wrote
He
Hobbit
wrote the
and
Lord of the Rings.
Rings.
And who did the other one write? The J.R.
Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry
J.K. Rowling wrote Harry
Oh,
Potter, and that's a female.
I got you. All that is gold does not glitter. They came up with this saying? I
Keep
thought
going,
that was
keep
like
going.
It was a
ancient.
he,
All that
not a they.
he's a they, them. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither.
Mm,
Deep roots are not reached by the frost.
yeah.
All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost.
This is
Purport by Custode.
this is from Lord of the Rings. Oh, you want me
I
to
did
start?
not know that. I thought this was everybody quotes these lines.
He was a very popular writer. Raghunath.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
It's The Hobbit. Never read it, never seen it.
This is from Lord of the Rings.
Give me a purport.
Well,
This-
this has to do with which is such an important thing when you start to get into spirituality, right? You got to get beyond the superficial. Superficial just means like that. It's just the thin skin, right? Superficial just means like the very outer thin covering. If we're going to get into spirituality, we can't just get into that, you know, dress a certain way, say a few words, talk about the energy or whatever, you know, it is. But it means getting deeper. So the first two lines, all that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. Someone's wandering on the external level, we think, oh, that guy's lost.
Right.
You know, something doesn't glitter, we think, oh, it can't be that special.
Right.
No. Then it starts to talk about the more, not the surface level stuff, but the substantial stuff that's underneath. The old that is strong does not wither, and deep roots are not reached by the frost.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's something in really the practice. So much of understanding what is spiritual. Really, if we talk all the time about spirituality, right? What does it mean? We're not vague about that. Bhagavad Gita is not vague about that. Srimad Bhagavatam is not vague about that. What is spiritual? Spirituality means the energy that is conscious and eternal. It's not affected by time.
Mm.
Material energy is not conscious, and it's constantly in shift because of the force of time. The force of time is shifting it, changing it, creating it, destroying it, building it back up again, you know. So spirituality, if we're going to be spiritual, it means that we become not that we're necessarily entirely unconcerned with the material energy, but as we move through the material energy, as we interact with the material energy, including our bodies, the bodies of those around us, all of our material possessions, etc., as we navigate that material world, we're holding on to something that's deep underneath, right? The deep roots that are underneath, and that's the spiritual energy, which is not affected by time. We're holding on to something that's deeper and more significant, and ultimately the root of everything, the true root, is God, and that's a God that we want to also know in depth, in detail, in person. So that's the key. Our thoughts need to be brought. They need to be rooted. They need to be connected to that root. Otherwise, our whole circumstance is very flimsy. Our mind, in a sense, will be flimsy. We'll be up 1 minute and down the next. We'll be elated one moment and then we'll be distraught the next. The spiritual person is like got that samatvam, that steadiness, because they're connected to something substantial.
My God, you could just spin off and tease this first line of it. All that is gold does
Sure.
not glitter. You could just
Oh,
stay
yeah.
there for the whole episode.
Good stuff, huh? This is a real writer,
Drawn in-
right?
this is like a fish getting drawn in by shiny bait. We're
Okay.
like the baited
The
hook
lure.
material existence.
Oh,
by
yeah.
Raghunath.
Glittering.
Right? And then the converse, right? Right? This is what I stole this from Dhruva Maharaj. I used it for a lyric. Is we trade in our diamonds for broken glass, Kostuba.
We traded
Trade
our
in our
diamonds for
diamond,
broken
trade
glass.
in diamonds for broken glass.
That sounds like it's related to that Dhruva statement from Dhruva.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's where I got it from.
No.
Right? We have the diamond. We are actually we are connected spiritually. This is a good one for people too. We're on the spiritual journey, and then we take the spiritual journey for granted, and then we see, the spirituality is good, but look how shiny it is over there.
A little
And
glitter.
I run to it, and I grab it with all my effort, and it's actually broken glass. It was shiny, it reflected by the sun, but as I pick it up, it slices my hand open. This is the spiritualist leaving their jewels behind for something that appeared shinier, and it was actually just broken, bottles.
Yeah, Raghunath. Yeah.
We're gonna
Why don't
stay
you-
here today. Let's just
why-
stay here today. Talk about glass and
You've
jewels.
been talking about glass a lot. Glass and skin and stuff like that. Yesterday, you're getting into that.
Oh, yeah. All right.
J.R.R. Tolkien was also good friends with C.S. Lewis. They
Oh,
were in,
see?
yeah, they were in a literary club together.
I would have loved them.
You probably
Would you
would
like
You
to
know,
join
who
the
knows?
literary
Who
club?
knows? In 100 years from now, people will be like, "Oh, that Raghunath punk to monk guy, he knew the famous Kostuba."
I could see you
You knew
showing
him.
up at the literary club with your biography, sitting down there with J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And like, hey, guys.
He was in Kostuba's Sage Group.
Sage group. All right. You look like you're feeling good, though, Rugger. You look like
You
you're
know what?
rejuvenated.
I feel good as soon as I put it all together. And then Krishna gives me this special power for the day.
You get
And then at night it starts like, oh, actually I'm sick. Ugh.
right. Then you pop
Yeah.
back up, though.
Yeah. I'm like
I-
the curly tail of a dog. Just
Yeah, you snap back. In many ways, Raghunath, in many ways, you're like that. No matter how much we try to straighten you out, you've been right on back. But
Me and Kostuba had a fun time this weekend together, didn't we?
oh,
Nice.
except
time.
for filming that little video, yeah, we had a great time.
That was
That's
fun.
what I was thinking.
I was losing it. After some.
The thing is, Kostuba, you're as silly as me, and then you turn the corner and go like, "Get serious! It's
No,
time for you to get
no,
serious."
no,
So what are you
Raghunath.
talking about? We were just joking.
A little
second ago.
silliness is fine, but then you need to know when to say, okay, now enough
So
of
why
that.
are you the determinant factor of when the silliness ends?
Because you never determine it. So someone, if you want to go ahead and determine that, please do so.
It's like when I feel like it's going to end, it's going to end.
But you know what?
Go and keep on adding more. Raghunath.
But
Okay.
I do have to share this. My heart is full of gratitude for everybody that came this weekend.
Yeah.
It was I'm just so impressed with all the people. They're reading Bhagavatam, they're hearing it, and it's just, you see it shining through everyone, how everyone relates to everyone. It was really, really great. Everyone that was there.
Yeah, we're getting flooded with really nice messages. I give a shout out to Mara because sometimes she doesn't.
Oh, I had to do that too.
Yeah.
You're right.
Uh-oh, we're frozen. Right when I wanted to give you a shout
No,
out.
we can hear you, Raghunath.
This
We can
is
hear you.
arrangement.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm giving a shout out to
Yeah,
Mara.
sorry, what were you saying?
I'm giving a shout out to Mara because she is doing so much behind the scenes stuff and she gets really no credit. You and me take all the credit because we're the wise ones. But Mara has a
You
deep.
guys are the wise ones, though. That's the thing.
Wise guys.
I'm the wise. Yeah.
Weisenheimers.
But I want to thank you for all the stuff you do. I see you do behind the scenes, and it's from
I also
from
see
the
that.
family, from the house, from the cooking, from the ordering.
Anytime
the food.
I needed something, Mara was there. Boom, dry my sneakers. They got caught out in the rain. Boom, like here's some tea. Boom, here's some food. Boom, here, it's like Mara's always there.
Yeah, thank you. Serious.
Thanks, I'm grateful.
And like a true yogi with samatvam, with an even mind through all of it.
She's very even.
Udi's
Very
hand was
even.
turning green. She was on it.
Yeah. She was on it.
We got some curveballs this weekend between Nick and Udi to the urgent care, the dishwasher breaking
The
after
dishwasher
like,
break. Mara's like
Dishwasher
on it.
broke
I
up,
found
Mara's
the exact
boom,
same
she's on.
dishwasher on sale at Lowe's. We're going to replace it.
Thanks again
And
to our
Murphy-
Savite crew for putting that in.
Things were falling apart, and Mara was healing him left and right. It was like,
Yeah.
Not quite.
No,
Okay.
really. But in all honesty, Mara's just moving through the whole thing. Without her, it would be falling apart at the seams, actually. She's there.
forget it.
She's taking care of stuff.
I'd be walking around everywhere lost, just bumping into
and-
trees.
And her food,
Okay,
the
let's get into the
prasadam
Srimad
is.
Bhagavatam.
But let me say this too, Raghunath. The
What?
quality of her prasadam is
Mara
special.
didn't cook.
No, I had stuff cooked by her.
Oh, you
Yeah,
had private
Yeah.
cooking privately for Mara?
She just whips up
For
stuff.
Kastuba?
I was.
Sorry.
You guys were eating privately? No.
You
it was-
guys had a private dinner together?
And
Okay,
even
go on.
even when you're feeling a little sick and someone cooks you real good conscious prasad, it actually heals you on all levels.
Yeah.
I steamed him some zucchini, put some ghee
Steamy
and
little
salt. in it.
zucchini. There's bread.
There's
No,
bread always for Kastuba.
she's a healer. She's a healer.
Yeah, she's there. Okay,
Part-time.
She's a part-time healer. All right, let's dive into this. It's time.
it's time. It's that time.
Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayat. Before we start in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan and to Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Midadam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
All right.
Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5, Text 48.
48. Oh, let me get there. Okay. Should we go a little Monday morning recap?
Tell us where we are, what's going on here.
So all the devas are on the bank of the ocean of milk. There, Lord Brahma is leading prayers. It's kind of prayers. You know what's going to happen next, Raghunath?
What?
Vishnu's going to appear in front of them. But right now, he's out there floating somewhere in the ocean of milk. And they're on the beach. And Brahma's offering the prayers. And he's wrapping up he's going to start to pray again once Vishnu appears.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vishnu is going to give the devas some good instructions. But now, he's glorifying the Lord. In the last verse, he said this interesting things, right? He said karmis, right? Karmis. The people who think that by working in this world in the right way, I'm going to get the things that are just going to make life totally enjoyable. I'm going to find happiness through the material things in life. He said that they work so hard, but it just ends in frustration, right? But when someone connects with you, Lord Vishnu, whatever they do is very different. It has a very different effect, a very different result. It's not like I get a temporary thing, I get it, I enjoy it, the enjoyment disappears, and then I'm disappointed and I suffer. It's a whole different world of connection. So he's going to speak some more about that today.
Ready?
Yep.
Text 48. Activities dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even if performed in small measure, never go in vain. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, being the Supreme Father, is naturally very dear and always ready to act for the good of the living entities.
Okay.
It's always people, especially nowadays, people are you got to do big, you got to do bigger, you got to step it up. No, you don't. You don't
No, you don't.
necessarily have to step it up. You don't have to get bigger or broader or wider. You just go a little deeper with a little bit more focus, refine the intention. Maybe we're doing too much. Maybe we need to pare down. It's like culture is trying to push us to be, everyone has to be an influencer. We already are influencers. We influence. We don't have to be superstars necessarily to cause a change in this world. Even if performed in small measure, that never goes in vain when it's dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
That's right. And you know,
Do less, Kostuba. Do less.
do less. Okay.
But for Krishna.
That's
more.
right. Here's the idea, right? That we're talking about spiritual energy and material energy. Our work, our actions in this world can either be of the material nature or of the spiritual nature. If our actions are of the material nature, it means that they're moving out of the orbit of the root of all existence of Krishna or Vishnu, right? They're moving on their own. That, you know, ultimately they can't do anything on their own, but moving with a false sense of independence from the center. It means they're selfish activities. I want something. I'm working to get it. You can do that, you know, but now that work and the results of that work take on the qualities of the material energy, which is temporary, right? Temporary and ultimately dissatisfying. Or our actions in this world can move, you know, in concentric circles. It can rotate around and become part of the spiritual solar system, right? They can be offered to God. They can be offered to the root. And if that's the way our actions, no selfishness in them, I'm reconnecting, I'm giving, I'm offering to the center, to the root, then they take on the qualities of the spiritual energy, and the results are eternal. There's never any loss, and ultimately there's no disappointment. You know, there's these interesting verses in the Gita. They're a little strange. They feel like they're a little out of the tone of the Gita.
Which ones you got?
Second chapter.
No,
No,
that's something.
there's 72
No.
verses, I think, in the
Vidyamam
chapter.
soma paputta papa. Yagyar ista svargatam. That one?
I don't think so. Give me your translation. What was it again?
That's the one. Try Vidyamam. So
The three modes of material nature?
No. It's the one about the
Try
demigods and worshiping and getting this, drinking the soma juice.
Oh, no. I'm talking second chapter, Bubba. I'll just tell you.
Speak. Why don't you just tell me instead of me playing
Okay.
20
I'll just tell you. Well, you know, the second chapter opens up, you know, Arjuna expresses his hesitation in carrying out his duty as the warrior.
Okay.
Then Krishna begins to speak spiritual knowledge. He speaks about how the soul is different from the body. The body's constantly changing. The soul's eternal. And he goes on to describe the spiritual energy, how the Atma, how the soul can't be killed. It can't be cut. It can't be burned. It's eternal. It's of a different nature. And so he speaks on that at length. Arjuna is apparently still not convinced. And then Krishna kind of says, okay, let me take it down a notch, right? Like he's not responding to the spiritual message. Let me take it down a notch. Let me take it down to the material level. And this is something that we're not going to be able to understand who Krishna is unless we begin to take this into account, that he's ready to approach us on any level. If Arjuna is not responding to spiritual message, he can take it down to the material message. And he starts saying that you should fight because you're a warrior. And when warriors get the opportunities to fight, that opens up the opportunity for them to accrue great good karma, right? Like to sacrifice your own self to protect others. It means your next birth, you go up, you know? So he starts to speak to him on that level. And he also says that if you neglect this duty, you're going to lose your reputation. You know, people are going to speak of your infamy. And for that, you know, that's going to feel so bad when people start talking about. He says the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame, they will think that you've left the battlefield only out of fear, and they'll consider you insignificant. Your enemies will describe you many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? He's speaking when the yogis don't think like that.
Yeah, we
Yogis
don't care what people think of us.
Yeah. It's like Yogis are, yeah, I'm not interested in fame. I'm not interested in reputation. These are external, temporary things.
Hmm.
But Krishna was trying to get Arjuna to at least do the right thing, even if it wasn't for the highest reason.
Hmm.
Right? It was a very lower level kind of instruction. But then he quickly changes gears and tries to bring him up, you know. And then so now the rest of the second chapter is going to be what's called like nishkama karma yoga. You do your duty, but you're not doing it for any result. You're not doing it for reputation. You're not doing it to go to the higher planes. None of these motives.
Nishkama, no desires.
Yeah, no material desire, right? No material
No
motive
material
behind it.
desires.
Yeah. And so he says, now I'm going to explain to you this knowledge in terms of working without the desire for fruit of results. And he says, Arjuna, if you can act in this way, you'll free yourself from the bondage of karma, or good and bad karma. You'll transcend it. And then he says this famous verse that is similar to the one that we're reading now. Nehabik ramo nashosti pratyavayona vidyate svalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhyat. I wonder if little Karuna knows that one. Do you know that one?
She wasn't listening. She's playing with the
She's
Rubik's.
just
She's
playing
playing
with
with the
the
Rubik's cube.
Okay.
Knitting, Karuna. She's knitting in the back. She doesn't know it.
But the translation is, in this endeavor, when you're serving in this world without any selfish motive, right, which you call nishkam karma
Yeah.
yoga, there's no loss or diminution, particularly because you're doing it for Krishna especially. There's no loss, right? This becomes spiritualized. There's no loss or diminution. He says a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
Hmm.
And so when Brahma's praying this way in front of the devas, he's kind of educating them too, right? That we can work real hard in the world and get results and ultimately be frustrated. That's the nature of material endeavor. But when one serves Lord Vishnu, when one serves Lord Krishna, it's of a whole different level. What was he saying? Even if performed in small measured activities dedicated to the Supreme Lord, even if they're performed in small measure, they never go in vain.
Hmm.
Right? Never goes in vain. It doesn't disappear. Time doesn't wear it away. It's there in your eternal account.
Spiritual bank account.
Spiritual bank.
It has rollover pious credits. It rolls over to your next life. It's a great
rolls
thing.
right on over,
You don't
yeah.
lose it. It rolls right over to your next birth, and you pick up where you last left off. And sometimes you meet these people in this world that are almost like they're not necessarily devotees, or sometimes not even really self-proclaimed spiritualists, but they're just a bright light in this world. You should
Yeah.
understand that they're coming from some pious place in a previous life that they've been cultivating, if maybe perhaps for lifetimes. And sometimes you meet a person that gets into bhakti, but they're in such a dark place because it's maybe brand new to them, and it's like it's okay because Krishna is all attractive and attracts all souls, no matter if they're very, very covered or just mildly covered. Krishna is all attractive. It's not like everyone you're going to meet is going to be like little angels floating around. We've all got some karma, some baggage, some trauma, some practice that we've been bringing forward for lifetimes. And now we're dealing with it right now. Like I'm dealing with you with all
I
the
know.
good
You
things
deal
that
with
you
me.
got and the other stuff. I deal with
Okay.
it. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm rolling with it.
Roll with
And
it,
you're
brother.
dealing with my stuff,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
deal with a lot more of your stuff than you deal with mine. But it's
Well,
great. It's great though. It's
but my stuff is fun to deal with.
no, not always. It's not always fun, but that's okay.
All right, activities.
That's what we just read.
Text
Now,
49.
Raghunath, this verse you're about to read right now is a game changer. Okay, this can change someone's life right here,
Okay,
right
so
on the
prepare
spot.
yourself.
Yeah.
Buckle up. When one pours water on the root of a tree, well, this is where that famous analogy is from.
Well,
When
there's
one
several
pours,
times in Bhagavatam, yeah, but yeah.
when one pours water on the root of a tree, the trunk and branches of the tree are automatically pleased.
Yeah.
Similarly, when one becomes a devotee of Lord Vishnu, everyone is served. For the Lord is the super soul of everyone.
Okay.
This is one of these things, like when we got into this,
Yeah.
decades ago, we thought about we had all these forces pulling us, preaching to us in different directions.
Yeah.
We had anarchists, we had right-wing conservative Nazis. We've had everyone was preaching something to the teenagers. They were out there peddling their philosophy
They
on
knew
us.
we were vulnerable
They
by the
knew
way we
were
looked.
vulnerable. The yippies, the anarchists, the skinheads, everyone tried to like bring us in, and the animal rights people, and they all have what they would call a good cause for the betterment of society. And when we heard the message of the Bhagavatam, we were like, actually, if you really want to benefit the world, you got to think deeply about this. All the problems that go on with race today. It's not like we didn't think of this. Oh, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Why did I get into the Bhagavatam? We've got to fight for race relations. You want to fight for race relations? Understand that you're not the race. Understand you're not race, you're spirit. That's how you change
It removes
race
the whole
relations.
problem.
Yeah. And you push into this. You care about animal rights. You care about the environment. You push to the roots of the issue. The roots of the issue is we're not respecting living entities. When you push towards that, it starts to nurture all the leaves of the trees. You need not water every leaf of the tree. You go right to the roots of it. You push the Bhagavad Gita. And sometimes I'll even hear devotees, yeah, we got to do more work in this world. No, you don't. You got to get very serious about the Bhagavad Gita in your life and to give that life towards others. And then you are setting the example for it. Doesn't mean we don't have to do self-work. That never ends.
Yeah. Okay.
When I say that means response, please.
Yeah, I responded. Yes. Okay, why don't you read the commentary to this one? This idea, the root. You know what? Let me just share this right now.
Number 4.
You with me?
Yeah.
Now, this kind of verse, when we hear it, we're going to hear it several times in Bhagavatam, this idea of Krishna being the root of the tree, that when you water the root, then everyone becomes satisfied, just like their leaves are all nourished when you pour water on the root. I remember once I was speaking about bhakti, speaking about devotion to Krishna, and then there was someone in the audience, very nice person, and they said, okay, but the love that you're talking about for Krishna, like, what about my love for my dog? Isn't that the same thing? And I said, loving the dog is great. We don't want you not to love the dog. But if you love the dog, it's not the same as loving Krishna. In the Bhagavatam, it's like, it's really, a lot of it has to do with understanding like the worship of the devas. Because if you read all the Vedic literatures, it's going to say worship this one and worship that one. And here it's saying you can do that. You can get some temporary results from the different devas, but ultimately Krishna is the root of them too. If you just go to the root, the devas will be satisfied. You think, okay, Indra's providing the water. I need to show some gratitude to Indra. Let me do some ceremony. No. If you satisfy Vishnu, Indra is satisfied. The god of the sun is satisfied. The god of the wind is satisfied. Mother Earth is satisfied. The goddesses of the rivers are satisfied. Because Krishna is the root of all of them. You pour water on that, all the devas are satisfied. For us, it can go deeper, right? It can mean, because we're questioning more simply, but what about, someone might have said, well, what about my Indra puja that I do every Wednesday or something like that,
Yeah.
But here it's like, what about the love for my dog? Okay, it's a sincere question, but understand that you love your dog and you don't love every other dog. You don't love your neighbor's dog. You don't love the cockroach. But if you love Krishna, you love the cockroach too, and your dog. It's like, because you see the soul in every living being, you have love for everyone. It's of a different nature when you love Krishna. You love the cockroach too, Raghunath.
Oh yeah. I snuggle up on the couch with the cockroaches.
You
Come
don't
on, you
necessarily
guys.
respond
Get in
externally
the back
to
of the
them all the
truck,
same.
cockroaches. Let's go for a ride.
Yeah, so that's the idea. This
Not
is
ready to love the cockroaches.
but it's an incredibly powerful metaphor that Krishna is the root of all existence, and
I
all
had
living
this
beings are
realization
the leaves.
I had
Yeah,
this
what
realization as
realization?
a young man.
You
Like
had
we're
what?
speciesist.
Yeah.
Imagine if we were to say something like, "Yeah, I don't like ugly people." Imagine if I was to make that public statement. I don't like ugly people. It'd
Okay.
be horrible to say something like that. But we just say, "I don't like ugly bugs. I don't like ugly animals, right? Like we've got these guinea fowl, which are very beautiful, but their heads are disgusting. They've got like old
They got beautiful
man's
feathers.
head.
They got
Incredibly beautiful
they look like a
feathers,
starry
like
night.
violet, but their faces are like monstrous.
Yeah, their feathers are kind of glamorous.
They're like dinosaurs, but their bodies are like gorgeous. And imagine, what was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. But anyway,
Well, they're
ugly
called loving
birds.
them, loving
But
them.
yeah, why? But the peacocks, they're breathtaking. They're beautiful, you know. And then you have like a bug.
Well, what
a
was that? Who was saying
cockroach.
that statement? Was it Shakespeare the other day? You were like the peacock in all ways but beauty.
You are like a peacock in all ways, but beauty.
That's good.
But anyway, my point is we're speciesist. If I was to say I don't like ugly people, that'd be a horrible thing to say. But we don't like ugly bugs. We don't like ugly birds. We don't like, we can't help it. We're so conditioned a certain way. So I think when you really understand bhakti or get deep in bhakti, you learn just to love.
Yeah.
Despite the ugliness.
But how does that
bodies.
happen? But here's the
I
question,
don't
right?
know. I'm still.
Well, I'm telling you, it's right here. We're reading it right now. You love it's the root. You go to the root. That's the point.
Well, they do say that sort of like great souls become friends with poisonous animals as well.
Well, yeah. The real. They say that the snakes
I gotta think about
they leave the
this
sadhus.
one. I gotta think about this one.
You don't have to. The answer's right here. Don't think about it. Don't speculate. It's right here. Then think about it in terms of this verse.
Okay, this is
Read the verse again.
Radhanam sarvesham Vishnu aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samachanam. Of all types of worship of Lord Vishnu is the best.
This is
And
Lord
better
Shiva
than
speaking.
worship.
This is Lord Shiva speaking to Devi, to Durga. Parvati.
And better than the worship of Lord Vishnu is the worship of a devotee, the Vaishnava. There are many demigods. Okay, that was a quote. There are many demigods worshipped by people who are attached to material desires.
Come on,
Because people
express-
are.
Yeah.
Who's
Wanna read
reading
the
this?
Gita verse?
Who's reading this? You or me?
Well, you weren't reading it. That was the problem.
Well, I was
You skipped
skipping
right
over
over
the
it.
Sanskrit.
All right.
Let my leash a little longer, please.
Okay, a
Just
little
Give
longer.
me a
Well,
little bit longer.
you could have let me just throw that in there, but
I know.
you go ahead. You run with it, Raga. You run.
Because people are embarrassed by so many material desires.
Yeah, embarrassing.
They worship Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, the goddess Kali, Durga, Ganesh, Surya to achieve different results.
Yep.
However, one can achieve all these results simultaneously just by worshiping Lord Vishnu, as stated elsewhere in the Bhagavatam. And there's a quote, and we'll read the Sanskrit. But here's the quote. Just by pouring water on the root of a tree, one nourishes its trunk and all the branches, fruits, and flowers. And just by supplying food to the stomach, one satisfies all the limbs of the body. Similarly, by worshiping Lord Vishnu, one can satisfy everyone. We don't see this so much in Western culture, but in India, you go into a shop and they have a little Ganesh above the
All the
door.
time.
You see the worship of Lakshmi. You see the worship of Surya. Their idea is like, these demigods, they provide stuff for me, so I'm going to go ask the demigods for stuff. Vishnu doesn't give stuff. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. Doesn't give you what you want. Vishnu gives you what you need. It's a different exchange.
You get what you need.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think that for like people from the Vedic, coming from that culture,
Yeah.
this verse is important for them to understand in terms of the devas and the devis, right? Like,
Sure.
you don't need to worship on Monday one god and on Tuesday another goddess and on Wednesday another god. Like, we don't, the bhakti yogis don't think like that. The Vaishnavas don't think like that. They think when I go to the root, I'm not disrespecting them. I'm not taking them for granted. I'm pleasing them in the highest way by going to the root. Just like if I'm not supposed to go and pour water on this leaf and then pour water on that leaf and pour water on that leaf. You go to the
Krishna
root.
says it himself in the Gita. This is said in the Gita.
Yes.
And that's why it's confusing, because I'd say maybe, I don't know if it's so much of a big percentage of Vedic worshipers worship to counteract bad karma or worship to get good karma.
Yes.
And it's sort of like this transactional game you're playing with higher living entities or planets or So they do pujas. They do everything actually sort of looks the same like we're doing. They're doing pujas. They're doing mantras. They're doing yogis.
Different motive.
They're offering incense and flower garlands, etc. But it's different, and that's why people sometimes when they come from other Indian traditions, they say, "Well, why don't we chant?" Well, you guys, I've noticed you've never chant prayers to Durga. You never chant Om Namo Shivaya so much. You don't chant this that much. You don't chant that. Yeah, you know why we don't? Kamaistaisther Hrita Gyana Prapadyantenya Devataha. Krishna says, it's all coming from me anyway. You can worship them, but you should understand where they're getting it from in the first place. So it's recommended you just go right to the top. Then all your other needs are going to get taken care of anyway. You don't have to go to each leaf separately to fulfill your desires. Go right to the roots. And that's why we do it. And that's why when you go to these Krishna Bhakti Kirtans, for the most part, you'll hear the glorification of Vishnu Tattva deities, Krishna, Ram,
And others.
and
et cetera.
others, and other manifestations of Lord Vishnu, or sometimes of the great devotees of Vishnu. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the verses that you were speaking of. This is 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, beginning with text 19. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, Krishna says. Knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is, such a great soul is very rare. Then he says, those whose intelligence have been stolen by material desires, snatched, right? Ritya
Their
Gyana.
intelligence
Ritya
has
Gyana.
been stolen. Right. There's an actual gold standard of intelligence, which is you understand that you actually can't possess anything anyway. That's intelligent. And so once your intelligence has been stolen by what? Your kama, your desires, then what?
Then you surrender unto the demigods,
Yeah.
and they follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures.
You want to worship them? Krishna says in the next verse.
He says, I'm in everyone's heart as a super soul, and as soon as someone desires to worship some demigod, now this is so key if you want to understand who Krishna is, I make their faith steady so that they can devote themselves to that particular deity.
This is how Krishna is.
He's not
like,
jealous.
Here's the info. Here's all the info for all of you. And do what you like to do.
It'll be a step up for you from not respecting the devas, right? Just thinking that I got all this on my own. He says, endowed with such faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod. It's like watering one leaf and obtains his desire. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone, the root. Men of small intelligence. It's being translated literally here, right? Small intelligence.
Yeah.
They worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary.
That's what we're saying. That the gold standard of intelligence is your stuff is limited and temporary.
Temporary. Those who worship the demigods, they go to the planets of the demigods, and then they come back down again. My devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet, where there is no time, where it doesn't end like that, you know. So, so for people that are coming, like from the Hindu tradition, this verse about watering the root instead of watering the leaves, it has a lot to do with this understanding of the different gods and goddesses, and how Vishnu or Krishna is the source of all of them. But I think for us, in the way that our minds works and in the way that our minds have been trained in the Western world, we become concerned with like, how are we relating to one another? And that's good, actually. In one sense, it's a deep application of it. You know, like, what if I love my dog? Is that the same thing? Is the love of my dog or the love of this person or that? And then we said, no, that's beautiful, but don't. In other words, if someone has a leaf and they're pouring water, is it bad that I'm pouring water on the leaf? Your intention here is great, right? That you want to help this leaf is a really good thing. But try to understand, this isn't a sectarian idea, but try to understand that leaf and every other leaf is growing through the nourishment of one common root. Get to that root.
See, isn't it? It's so hard to see because we're embroiled in this thing. Like, this is my family. This is my home. This is my society. This is my culture. And the Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam are saying, yes, but No.
Okay.
Yes,
And-
but no, there's something much bigger. And it's when we take shelter of that bigger, we actually find the high heat of anxiety diminish.
Yeah. And then you'll become just as concerned for every leaf, every single leaf, not just the one leaf. And you know, as you said, it's hard to see because what? The roots are underground,
Yeah.
right? You don't see the root. Well, why should I pour water in the ground?
Yeah, it
How's
doesn't
that
seem
going to
like
help
it's
the
going to
leaf?
do any good.
Yeah.
gonna
But there's a
do all
root
the
under
good.
there. Yeah.
There's a root under there. Silly.
Okay.
Oh.
One more verse and we're done with the chapter.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. My Lord, all obeisances unto you who are eternal, beyond time's limits of past, present, and future. Interesting. You are inconceivable in your activities. Check. You are the master of the three gunas, right? The three
Check.
modes of material nature. Check. And being transcendental to all material qualities, you are free from material contamination. You are the controller of all the three gunas, the three modes of material nature, but at the present, you are in favor of the quality of goodness. Let us offer our respectful obeisances to you.
There you go.
That's
Thus
it?
ends.
Thus ends the
The
Bhaktivedanta
Srimad Bhag-
purports of the 8th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Demigods Appeal to the Lord for Protection.
All right.
All
When we
right.
get back together, we're both going to be in India. I'm going to be in Devaprayag, and you're going to be where?
Jodhpur.
Whoa.
Or Delhi.
Jodhpur.
Or Delhi. Hastinapur.
Okay.
Check this out. The name of the next chapter is The Demigods and the Demons Declare a Truce.
Oh, it starts to get juicy now, Raghunath.
Yeah, let's become friends with the demons.
Ready for some takeaways?
Yes. Yes, Mara.
All right.
Miss Mara,
Spiritual energy has deep roots that aren't
I
affected.
want you to sing all the takeaways.
We can't always get what we want.
We can't.
But you get what you need.
Spiritual energy has deep roots that aren't affected by time.
That's right.
The true root is God.
The
The
true
true
root is God.
We're True Roots. Because there's a band called The Roots, right? We're True Roots.
Go deeper, not bigger.
Here we go.
Not bad.
For Krishna, do more.
For Krishna, do more. Well, more intention, refined intention.
Okay.
You don't have to necessarily do more. A takeaway is getting cut from the takeaway list.
We're gonna. Someone gave that with all good intention.
Spiritual endeavors are never in vain. You get rollover credits.
I like that idea of rollover credit.
Okay.
I like how we just create new phrases. Like quick. Phrases are coming so much quicker than they are.
Yeah. If you want to benefit all good causes, focus on Bhagavatam.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Love Krishna to love all the cockroaches.
All of them. Every single one.
You know what? I hear in the background that little baby peacock.
I know.
You hear that? It's like they have a
So
very
soft.
beautiful whistle, like, and they don't open their mouth to do it. They just do it in their throat.
It's very soft. It's like fur. Their feathers are very, very soft.
I know. They're furry.
Don't let your intelligence get stolen by embarrassing material desires.
Oh, it's embarrassing.
Totally.
It really is.
Totally.
Material world is no place for a gentleman.
Our stuff is limited and temporary,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
yogis don't think like that.
Yogis don't think like
Just
that.
don't think like that. I thought we were gonna do trading in our diamonds for broken glass. That didn't
I
make
had
it
that
to the
one.
list.
Yeah, I cut it.
It's a good one. That was
You cut
better
it
than
out.
the other one I cut. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Wish us well. Please, a little prayer for us that we get to India safely, travel safely, and sing the holy names wherever we go. That's the plan. Sing the holy name wherever you go. The only reason to leave Vrindavan is to tell other people about Vrindavan. Now
Raghunath,
to go to Vrindavan. I'm so getting excited for this.
I have a suggestion for Jodhpur.
Yes.
You take a midnight camel ride across the desert with kirtan playing. Nice kirtan.
Camel ride?
Yeah. Midnight camel ride.
All right.
All right. Wanna try?
I don't know. I'm not really attracted to camels so much. Some people are like, I gotta ride a camel.
Raghunath, love every camel.
I
Okay.
do love them. I love them at a distance.
You gotta get up close to that camel.
All right. Oh, there's Road Rage. There's Henry. All my people are here.
We're getting a lot of camel love on
Nanda?
board here, Raghunath.
Dan. Kishtitani Das. Dinesh is here. Haribo Dinesh.
This Wednesday is the first in-person BRG meeting. Plastic Art, Philly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Philly
That is
crew.
great.
7, 8 p.m.
It was so nice hanging out with Jiva G. She was great. Anyone who's going to the Wisdom of the Sages retreat in the go around Iku Village,
Light on.
Light on Wisdom, I tell you, Jiva G adds so much. Yeah, people really love what she offers.
Jiva G had so much appreciation for what she was doing.
So much appreciation for my sis. The sis from another miss. I think me and Jiva G were related in a previous life. I'm actually convinced of that.
Okay. She and Braj Bihari may be related in this life.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they have the same last name. They're both from New York, and they know that in their families, like they think that it's a real good chance because, like, oh, that family lived over there. We never really met them so much.
Wild. That's wild. If that's true, that's a Krishna miracle.